Hello, and welcome to the Mountain Climbing Enthusiast Podcast, where we give you the encouragement to climb the mountains of your dreams. Today, we're going to be talking about Mount Tanigawa and how you can enjoy a beautiful sunrise on the mountain. My name is William Yukimura, and I am joined as ever by my co-host, Arsenette Kurure.
I still have to see season 2 of that.
I picked the one of all the references that I decided to. I was contemplating for our rebranding episode intro. I decided to go with the one that only you will get,
Yay!
and no one else. So,
hi guys.
hello. So this is actually the Final Stage podcast. Not a podcast that is loosely based around the anime encouragement of climb.
And if you haven't seen it, go see it.
If you haven't seen it, read my reviews of why you should go see it, and then go see it.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes. The show's really good. I like it a lot.
Oh, and finally, legit happy anniversary.
Yeah, we did it. We did it, everyone.
Oh my god.
They said it wouldn't last, especially Arsenette.
Yes, actually. Yeah. Oh my god, this whole year. Oh good lord. Wow. Just wow. So how are you doing?
I'm Danny. How are you? Are you feeling old? Because we were a year old now.
Yes. Oh my god, it just wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a rough month, and I'll go through that probably piecemeal throughout this entire broadcast. But it it turned out to be like a whole introspection month, where I celebrated my 8-year anniversary last month. Yeah, 8-year anniversary doing the blog, 1 year doing this, 10 years watching the show. It's like, oh my god. So yeah. So before I forget, I did finally moved all of the Final Stage podcast episodes over to its own website. And that's going to be basically the only place that it does it now. So it's no longer buried in my site on Rambly Regan. So William would take a hammer to actually fix the format, because I just kind of throw everything on there going, that works. And he's like, nope. So he will make it look pretty, because I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So I'm like, do you do it? No, it's over here. No, it's over there. Okay, fine. You do. So I'll probably do the major updates, and he'll make it look pretty. Yay!
Yeah, pretty much.
So, I finally finished Fundraising Hell.
Yay!
And, oh my god. I don't ever want to do that again. Again, I've mentioned this many times. I don't know how people do this for a living. This is nerve-wracking, asking people for money for stuff and whatever. So thank you, everyone. I raised, how much did I raise? I know it was over $2,000, which was a lot considering. And I have somebody covering my airfare in full. So yay. So I'm going to 32.
Yay, indeed.
And so it's just right now it's the okay, now that I have everything set up, try to get all of the photos that people wanted, as opposed to me picking all of them, making sure everybody got the sizes for the t-shirts, and then organizing stuff, getting the flights and hotels, and who's staying who and who's coming over and how we're all the organizational stuff. So at least that's the even though it's gonna be crazy and whatever, that's a good crazy. So after the month that I had, that's actually, I'm kind of looking forward to that. So, but yeah, and I'll have all that on my site eventually. I'll do a better job than I did last year, because last year I had very little, because I was afraid to do a lot of things because I'm normally behind the camera. In fact, last year was the first time that anybody had ever seen what I look like. So it's sort of like, oh, I'm going to be in public. I guess I have to show what people, yeah. So I took some photos and very little video. So this time around, I'm going to try to grab as many, batteries and SD cards, and I'm just going to record everything as much as I can.
That's a good plan. Hey, speaking of recording things, did you ever upload your stuff from the National Ninja League?
I did some. Okay. Like what I did was I did 2 blogs on it.
Did I just miss it?
No, I did 2 blogs on it. Like immediately, it was like the first week, and then I kind of sprinkled some of the other stuff, but I never did like an actual proper blog on it because again, I'm looking at the videos, like I haven't done that.
So
you're not supposed to bring it up.
So you haven't uploaded the video proving, showing why I'm the one who does the intros for this show?
Hey, I've shown some of it, just not the audio of it. Like it's in the last 2 or 3 vlogs that I did, where you have like basically instead of incidental music, incidental video. Right. And I had some of that in there, and you just see me like bouncing up and down, and you're rolling your eyes. Yeah. I haven't shown the audio of that because it's too embarrassing. It's like, is that what you want to see? Oh my god. I need a script. I need a script. Because I don't do very well doing that. And you do this every single month in fact, you did it for an entire weekend doing all kinds of interviews with people. So, yeah, I'm not one of those. I can do things like behind the scenes. I just can't do it like in staring at a camera because I'm like looking at a lens. And if I'm looking at somebody else, I'm fine. I just can't do it like behind the lens. It just seems weird to me.
Well, I don't know, I guess the only thing I can tell you is just get used to it. That's the only, that's like, practice makes perfect, and like, that's how I got better at it.
That's one thing that I had to do. Like, I took my camera out this weekend to try to record stuff. And the first thing that I did was turn off 4K because, oh my god, that hogs up an SD card like it's going out of style.
Oh god, that is.
So
like file sizes go up exponentially when it comes to resolutions. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think I have it like a 1080p at 30 frames. And
yeah, that's good enough for what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'll do that, and so I just started recording stuff, and then I was explaining to my friends that I've seen the camera for the first time, and then it was like, yeah. So I got it with the flippy flip thing, where the screen kind of moves around, and it's like I can flip it this way, so then I can do. Oh crap! That means I have to stare at myself, stare at a lens.
Oh yeah, I know what that's like.
And I've done it before. In fact, I have video of me trying to do that, and me just totally screwing up. Like I can't because I've done before where there's a prompter, and then you're staring at the prompter, and then you're inadvertently looking at the lens. But when I'm sitting there reading the prompter, that's perfectly fine because my eyes are distracted by the screen, as opposed to I'm just staring at a lens. It's just weird. And then I didn't want to look at the side thing where you can see yourself, because that's worse because I don't like seeing myself. So I am so much better behind the camera. Oh my god. Yeah. Definitely made for radio. So, all right, but yeah. So, I also did a blog on, this was of course all tied to the whole fundraiser and the past month and all the extra stuff that's going on in the background. I'm going to be doing some changes to how I do my blog. Most people won't notice anything until like after 32 is over. I would assume, like August. I'd like to get it done before the Olympics because I actually watched the Olympics. So I'm just judging by last year how I did it, where I mean, just in general, like it aired like in July, and then it took me almost to September to finish it because I procrastinated like crazy because I had so many things to do at that point. But I'm gonna finish out the Sasuke 32 season, and I am going to stop. Um, I'm gonna be doing like updates and stuff on, like when we do, I'm doing vlogs and updates on Final Stage podcast, which we are gonna continue. And but that's it. This is gonna be the last major blog that I do in terms of news and updating. Oh God, like the ever growing list of spin-offs. I'm tired. I've been doing this for 8 years, and I had a rough fundraiser. I don't know how to say this. Let's just say that I'm not compatible with the A&W crowd in the worst possible way. People are incapable of accepting somebody else's opinion. And whenever I say mine, regardless of how small I do it or if it's one line of text, I get hate mail in the, like, bad hate mail. And so I got to the point where this isn't fun anymore. And so I decided I'm just gonna. Why am I basically taking an extraordinary amount of time out of my life to update people that don't want to hear it? Now, there are people that still do, and trust me, I've heard all of your voices. And so I'm gonna do it in my own way. I'm gonna be concentrating on writing the book, which makes me happy because the book is basically going to be, my love letter to Sasuke, the last, 10 years of my life and, almost 20 at this point. This is 19 this year of Sasuke in general. And I wanted to stay happy and friendly. This isn't my job. This is my hobby. And when I get berated by people that feel as if they need to take the time out of their life to trash and rumor and character assassinate people that are supposed to be helping them, I'm not doing that anymore. So I want to basically try to stay as positive as possible. So as of now, I'm not covering anything A&W, anything tied to A&W, none of the spin-offs that are tied to A&W. In fact, I'm done with all spin-offs. So I'm just gonna concentrate on writing my book, finishing Sasuke's the Sasuke 32's blog, because that takes like a month out of my life, and move on from there. What it's gonna look like in the future, I don't know. But William has some really nice ideas for what to do for the podcast. The podcast will continue.
Yep.
Like I mentioned with everything else, when I first started this blog in general, I'm going to keep doing it until it's fun. So that part is no longer fun. I'm still having a blast with the podcast, and I love talking to William. So it's funny. Usually when we do the podcast, it's hit the stop, start, sending our files to each other. So, he can curse and edit this together. And then we sit and talk for another 6 hours after that. It's just like this, it's fun, so I want to do things that are fun again. And so I know some people are going to be upset about it. I guess people are going to be upset about it no matter what, on either side of it. But I'm not going anywhere on social media. I'm not going anywhere on the boards. Only difference is I'm not going to be a megaphone anymore. So you guys that are constantly filing with me are probably going to be really happy, because I'm going to do everything to just like not say anything anymore. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. So how was your month?
I just want to say that conveniently you like talking to me and I like talking in general, so that works out. And, it's your decision and I support it. And
Thank you.
yeah, I wouldn't want to make you do something that you wouldn't want to do because that's not fun.
Even though I Shanghai you to do that.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah. We talked about possible things we can do in the podcast, and we'll let you know when we do something.
Yeah, I would assume we won't even get to touch that until probably September.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, because by the time I end up getting back from Japan, I'm sure.
Yeah, look, we'll
provided we record that well the next time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out behind the scenes at this point.
Yeah. So
anyway,
look forward to it. Plenty of content to come.
Yay! So for me personally, are you familiar with the celebrity cook Alton Brown?
Yes.
So last week I actually he's currently on tour with the Eat Your Science tour that he's doing. And he actually, one of his stops last week was at a college that was relatively close to me. So at pretty much the last minute, I decided to buy a ticket and check it out.
Cool.
And it was a lot of fun. He's a funny guy. He had some people on stage. He played some songs, different types of songs too. So he's a pretty good musician. Good funny stuff. If you like Alton Brown, you like that kind of humor of his, I would recommend it.
Yeah, he has a quirky sense of humor. I used to watch him as far back as when Good Eats. From season 1. Then I think he did Iron Chef.
Yeah, he was co-host of Iron Chef America. He's currently doing Cutthroat Kitchen on Food Network.
That's all on Netflix now, by the way.
Yeah. And during the show, he teased that Good Eats will be coming back as an internet show.
Interesting. Oh, I look forward to that because I like his shows a lot.
Yeah. He didn't. It was one of those things where, like what he said was like, for those of you who are fans of Good Eats, you might want to stay tuned to the internet or something like that.
Okay.
He didn't outright say it, but it sounds like something's coming.
That's cool. I look forward to that.
Yeah. But it was a good little show, and I'm really glad I went.
Yay! I'm happy about that.
Now for some personal business. So remember how the National Ninja League videos allowed March to be my best month ever?
Yes.
So apparently, people are still watching those videos.
Oh, that's cool.
Because April is now my best month ever.
Yay! I told you did a really awesome job on those.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. Oddly enough, Stage 2 has the most views out of all the parts, so I guess, I don't know, people really like Stage 2.
Well, at the same time, you had...
There's a lot of stars in that one, too.
A lot of stars on that one, and there were, 22 guys, and so it's just a nice, and then they're, back to back to back, so... even though not all of them went through, but that's a good one to watch.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I imagine when A&W comes back on NBC, they're going to get a boost because in the past, the Pro Ninja Warrior weekend videos of mine, some of them get a bit of boost around A&W season, especially if it involves Paul Casimir or Travis Rosen, apparently. So we'll have to see what happens then.
Yeah, in fact, this should be coming up soon.
June.
Yeah.
AEW comes June.
In fact, you have two of the qualifiers this month. So by the time it comes out, and then the big shebang. So, so that's gonna take a good portion of all the way up. They're probably gonna split it when the Olympics comes up because I don't see that they're probably just gonna do all of the qualifiers and regional finals and then
Yeah.
do the break. I know people say it's suicide. I actually don't think it is
No,
because
because they'll advertise A&W
they could
during
run the
the
living
Olympics.
hell out of those commercials, and when you
Yeah.
have 30, 40, 50 million people watching, I mean, they have a captive audience.
Yeah. So I think, yeah. And then so yeah. So to everyone, thank you again for making April my best month ever.
Yay!
Very, very unexpected. So, gonna try to make May my best month ever next. So let's see if that happens.
Awesome. No, but
Yeah.
I'm happy you're doing, more content on your channel. So
Yeah. And, I'm working on stuff. But also, I kind of want to talk about another thing. In my life. So you might have saw on Twitter this past weekend, I teased that I was working on a project.
something that wasn't a blog or a video.
Yes.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I wasn't able to show it off on Sunday because of the weather. It was raining on Sunday, and in fact, they're calling for rain all week, so that kind of hampers me.
Okay.
But I'm going to give this podcast a hot exclusive. Gee, I wonder how I secured this exclusive.
Must have
And
cost a lot, man.
I know, man.
Blew our budget, our non-existent
I
budget.
had to pull so many strings. I'm going to let you know what I'm working on.
Mhm.
So, I recently started building obstacles in my backyard.
Oh, cool.
I am playing around with the idea. It's like, I have some ideas of what I'm interested in making. Right now, it's just been me working on stuff, mostly out of wood because I am terrible at working with metal.
Yeah, that's a skill.
And it's not even going to be like, it's not necessarily like the stuff I make is going to be like Sasuke specific or anything like that. It's just things that I want to make and I want to do stuff on because way back in the day, back when I was a middle schooler and high schooler, I used to do like little obstacle things in my backyard, either based on MXC or Sasuke, depending on what I was watching at the time.
I did too.
And that was a lot of fun. And after the whole National Ninja League thing, my mom mentioned one night, like, oh, you should get back into the obstacle course stuff. And so this past week, I decided, all right, yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, and I imagine, because this happens every time I like anything remotely related to a home obstacle course is mentioned around me, someone's going to ask if the Mercury Laboratories will come back. Because it happens every time. It doesn't matter if I'm editing someone else's video, if I release a lost episode or something, it always comes up. I just want to make this clear. All of these obstacle things, they're first and foremost for me. They're just things that I want to make and enjoy. And if anything comes out of that, that's nice too.
Yeah,
But
it's just bonus.
yes, but at this point, there's no plans for any type of obstacle course show or the Mercury Laboratories or anything like that.
Yeah, that's that's a special thing to do anyway. That's a lot of work that, anybody that started working on even just their own, quote unquote backyard gyms, or like in Japan, their back room gyms, because most of them were indoors because they have no outside space. It's a lot of work. So I'm happy at least that you're finding enjoyment in that again, because
That's cool.
You
I
have
have
a lot of ideas that you've never really, you've been talking about this for years. You have a bunch of stuff that you've never touched.
And actually, it's cool that I went to my neighbors for some help because I couldn't find our drill bits that allow us to cut those really big holes that I needed. So I went next door and like, hey, do you have this? And he's like, oh yeah, you sure? Yeah, here you go. And like, he got me what I needed, and then he said, oh, what are you making? Like, oh, like he's like, you making obstacle stuff because he likes Ninja Warrior too.
Okay.
And he basically said, I got like this garage full of a lot of different stuff, and I don't have the time to use it anymore. Like, if you want any of this wood or these screws or any tools, you can just take them.
Nice.
So that's going to help with the budget.
Oh, yeah, it's going to save some serious amount of money.
Because I went to Lowe's, and
Oh, yeah.
one piece of lumber, because here's the thing, one piece of lumber, not so bad. When you start buying a bunch of lumber, that starts to add up.
Oh, yeah. I've
say the
actually
least.
seen a lot of people go through, either dumps or, where, like even construction sites where they're, breaking stuff down
Yeah.
and then whatever. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
I've done certain things.
hopefully not illegal.
Not yet.
What do you mean that? No.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I haven't done anything illegal. Just to be clear. Just to be perfectly clear. But yeah, so yeah, that's a thing I'm doing. So when the first thing that I'm making gets finished, I'll probably post a photo of it on Twitter. I'm essentially taking an old swing set, an old play fort that we had as kids, and I'm sort of renovating and repurposing it. So that's my canvas, so to speak. So
Make sure you have like padding and stuff underneath, please. I don't want you cracking your head open. Safety first.
yeah, I'll wear a helmet. No, yeah. Anyway, so that's about it for me.
Hey, you had a much better month than I did. So, yay! No, actually, that's pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
alright. In the past, let's see, switching over to Sasuke stuff. The auditions are done for Sasuke 32.
Yep.
In fact, in Osaka, we had a huge sighting. Normally, every year, you have Yamada that goes over there. He's been doing that for like ever, so it's not at all unusual. They're like, "Oh, but he's banned," and yes, he still is. But he always goes to support the Tigers and anybody that's in the region, because Osaka is basically his home turf. Hyogo Prefecture is not that far from there, so that's basically his side of town. And he goes every year. And then this year we ended up getting somebody that I was not expecting, and they put a photo of him with like the other guys, and I instantly recognized him. Kouji Hashimoto is actually not just back, but he's made quite a bit of overtures to try to get back on the show. They mentioned that also on the Nico Nico broadcast. He didn't speak much there. The Nico Nico broadcast was interesting because there were a whole bunch of people there, and it was like 2 people really spoke. In terms of actual information, there was little to none. And I think because it is so close to the tournament that anything is considered massive spoilers, so they ain't saying jack. So the entire time was just basically messing with Morimoto, because that's the first time that he's actually been in one of the Nico Nikos. The funniest exchange was with Kouji Hashimoto, because if anybody remembers reading my blog, me absolutely complaining about the fact that they no longer had a machine Sedai, and then all of a sudden he just like disappeared. Everyone in Japan blames Inui for that. Like, sends him hate mail, blames him for that. So he brought him over, and there's the, introducing him, wow, it's been a long time and whatever. And then Inui gets into the room. Tell them! Go ahead and tell them! He goes, yes, it was my idea that I didn't want to be in Sasuke anymore. And he goes, see, there, I told you it wasn't my fault. So it was so funny because again, this is how we talk, where it's just like it's a completely casual thing, but you have everybody in chat going, "Oh my God, he's there," and whatever. And he's like, "I did not kick him off the show. He wanted to leave. He told me he wanted to leave. I made it happen for him. I didn't kick him off the show, so get off my back." I thought that was absolutely hilarious, and you had like the sheepish look of Kouji, like, yeah, it was my fault. So, but yeah, there was a point where all the pressure was getting to him, and he moved back home because he was in Tokyo for quite a while, and then just basically got overwhelmed by everything that was going on with Sasuke and all the pressure, and he wasn't doing so hot in terms of fitness, and he felt that because he was a finalist, that every single time he went out there he had to perform, which is, hello, that's what happens with all the people that end up in the final. Every single one will always be measured up against that final. And so he went back, I think, I'm trying to remember what the prefecture is. Shimane? She something. It's down in the south. It's like really far south. I'm sure somebody can correct me later. He moved back to where he was from, and he's still there now. And then after a while, it's sort of like, I kind of missed the show. So he's been talking to Yuji, I think I believe it was like for the past year. And then finally he went out and sort of like, can I go? So we'll see. I'll let you know if he shows up. So, all indications so far is that he will be coming back, but we'll see. Lots of things happened, and so tentatively, what's the phrase? Cautiously optimistic that he would show up there. So I'm actually looking forward to that.
I'm looking. I wouldn't mind seeing him again. He seems. I was enjoyed watching him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He looks a lot more relaxed.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's like he's not as cut like he used to be when he was up in Tokyo, where he did a lot of physical training. He's not at all completely out of shape or anything like that. He just looks so much more relaxed, and I'm happy when I see somebody happy. It's because he was not happy for a very long time. So the giddiness of, okay, I'm coming back and whatever type thing, it was very evident in his face. So I was very happy about that. And then the following week after that was Tokyo. And it was strange. They actually didn't have it at the main headquarters in Akasaka, which is in Tokyo. They had it at the Midoriyama studio. That the building that's next to where they put Sasuke. And like, I think because it's out in the middle of nowhere, it's cheaper, I guess. So it's funny because they're like, "You're going to Midoriyama?" It's like, "Yeah, they were using the building." I'm like, wow, because like they took the entire the entire first floor where you had all the It's funny because now I go with the experience from last year where it's like 3:00 in the morning and we screwed up, we missed all of the taxis. So then we got bussed over to where the taxis were, and then we had to wait at inside of the TBS building on the first floor. And it's like, yep, that's where we were. Just like, in fact, I'm sitting where you were sitting. I'm like, okay, that's really weird. But yeah, they almost never use that building. It's a satellite building that it's rare that they have anything there. So whenever they say TBS headquarters, that's not the one that they're thinking of. It's that's in Tokyo, the big tall building. But yeah, so that was a week after that, which was now, I think, couple weeks ago. So yes, so now it's they sent out all of the invites. So I would assume, if we're going again by history from last year, they're going to have the lottery again for the audience participants. And usually we can kind of glean what dates are there. So I would assume they're going to do it the same way. Otherwise, I'm not going to say anything because I have no interest in being blacklisted. So look out for that, and then that's pretty much all of the hints that I can say for actual timing of the taping date. At the same time, I've been happy that Inui and even the TBS Twitter, more so than even the Facebook, they've been updating with photos and notes and stuff like that. In fact, Inui always mentions, "Hey, I just got out of another meeting." So generally, it takes about 2 weeks to, I think it's as short as 10 days to build it. So just keep looking to see when they start breaking ground and start building Sasuke. So that way I can be off the hook. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm really nervous and excited to go back, because it's a vastly different experience from the second time around, is what I'm told. So. And I think I'm going to be in Tokyo for a shorter period of time, so I'm going to be like, my hair is going to be on fire more so than usual, but I'll be tweeting like crazy. I can't tweet during the tournament, but I'll do like before and like right after, and then see what I can tweet about, and then everything in between, and well, you know what I'm talking about. So
yes, I do.
Yeah. So, and last one, in fact, it was this past weekend, because this comes out on Friday, I would assume. So this past weekend was the Maguro Festival, which is the tuna festival. This is I think this is the 8th year I'm covering it. 8th year I'm covering it. And, so we had, in fact, that was the first year Nagano was not able to go at all. So yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm out at sea. Here's some pictures. He was able to build it, and he was there, I think, a couple days before, took photos, and then had to go back out to sea. So I'll post those eventually on my blog, and yeah, I'll probably, I would assume I'll get it up before this thing comes up. If not, if you don't see it by the time the podcast is up, I'll have it within a week. So I've been preoccupied doing other things, so I'll get that up in the next week or so. But they had Shingo, out of the All-Stars, you had Shingo and Takeda, and Shin Tsurai, you had Asa and Kano. And at least from the STQers, the Sasuke trial qualifiers, you had Keita, Tomino, and Makoto Yahagi, the one I call Moody. They ended up going down there on a whim, and ended up being, volunteered for, hey, I don't want to get wet, you guys try this first. And so they did a couple demonstrations for people. And Yubei, that was the first year he's actually gone to the event and actually took some photos. So he actually has his own photos up on his site. So I'll link that also in the description so you can see his photos. I'll probably end up borrowing some of his because he has like the best ones. This year was a little bit different because they had the earthquake in Kumamoto, which is just north of that area, and up until, I believe, the day before, the Shinkansen connecting the northern end of where, because the Shinkansen, the bullet train goes right through Kumamoto, which was the town which pretty much leveled by the earthquake, the two earthquakes, I should say, and so it took them a while to be able to just reconnect everything, because the trains were derailed, and parts of bridges and stuff were messed up. And so I'm not sure how much it affected how many people were going, but people that normally go to these things and take photos and stuff like that and send them back, they didn't this year. And it's not surprising, especially if they had family members there. Like, I knew one of them that used to take most of my photos and had like really, really nice photos of the All-Stars. they couldn't go because I think his mom and his sister were in Kumamoto during that time. So it's sort of like, yeah, we're not doing this right now. So, but yeah, that was this past weekend.
Okay. All right then. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So some shows have taped.
Mm-hmm.
Sasuke Vietnam
Season 2.
season is completely done.
Yeah, that took 3 weeks.
Yeah, I remember when you told me about what the scheduling is like. Like, wow, that's a lot.
Oh, they had like 2,000 people that they ran.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
So
It took 20 seasons for Sasuke to do that.
yeah. Oh, in fact, for A&W, that's what, 3 seasons? Because if they average around 600 or so.
I don't know. The problem is we don't actually know how many people end up running. Well, I mean, I'm sure someone knows, but I don't know. So I've never looked up the actual numbers.
That was a lot.
It's a lot of people. Apparently, that's like half of Vietnam or something, right? I'm kidding.
Yeah. But yeah, they had they, in fact, that was one of the stations that actually aired like the entirety of their season on YouTube worldwide. Am I correct?
Yeah. I remember Sasuke Vietnam is on YouTube, so
okay, cool. So
worldwide, so that's hopefully be able to watch it again this year.
Yeah, I would hope so. And they had, I think it was something like 26 foreigners. So, I think like half of them were Americans. So, actually, we went through the whole list last podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, we got the full list. So,
mm-hmm.
So, if you want to hear the full list, go check out that episode.
Yay! And I think I still have the photo on there. It's on the website.
Yay!
And then Ninja Warrior France actually aired. I'm sorry, it hasn't aired yet. I don't believe.
No.
That filmed as well. Like I said, there's way too many of these spin-offs. It was pretty. Did it like on a boat or something? Or it was it was like in a dock. It was in Cannes. Where they had the festival.
Was it?
Is
it kind of like how Viking was taped on the harbor?
I believe. Yeah, I think it was on the harbor, because I started seeing ships, and I'm like, is it like how they did the military version of A&W?
Oh, A&W
7?
Yeah, last year they had a military qualifier that was on. I don't remember if it was on or like next to the USS Intrepid, something like that.
Well, it's like, I would assume it's the same size, because it's literally copying regionals for A&W. That's the size that they used. So it was pretty though, and it's I just saw Instagram and because I now have an Instagram, and I'm like, oh, well, let's see, but there's a whole bunch of ninja. Oh, they're all in France. Wow, that's pretty. And so of course they all tape at night, so you have all the lights and stuff, and but yeah, it just looked like American Ninja Warrior. The only difference was you had a couple of logos here and there, but it had like the same font, same everything. So just like, okay.
But in French?
No, actually, it wasn't in French.
Oh.
So it was, it was Ninja Warrior, and then I forget.
It's actually kind of surprising, to be honest.
It is actually. I'm a little surprised as well.
Yeah. Considering what I learned about France when I visited that one time, that it's actually very surprising.
It could have been something simple like, well, because the production company, if I'm not mistaken, that's Echoline, and he is Dutch.
Okay.
So, but I don't know. It's just, again, I have no idea when that one's taping. It's sort of like, oh yeah, that's right. It was actually taping at the exact same time as Vietnam. So it's like, oh, my head is spinning, and then I think of Germany's coming up, and it's just like, okay, I'm done.
You know what? I want to see Ninja Warrior Germany. I think the commentary would make that very interesting.
Really?
German's a very interesting language to listen to me.
Yes, it is. Well, it depends if it's north or south as well. Because one
We'll have to see.
Yeah, that's about the only thing that I remember is like I can tell by which border that they are is how strong their accent is, whether they do more sh or g. And so like, ooh, that's from the south. Ooh, that's from the north. Okay. And each of them trying to outdo each other. It's really funny. So I spend a lot of time. Mm-hmm.
Random aside.
Yep.
So one other thing that I did this past month was I watched the first episode of BBC One's newest obstacle course game show, Can't Touch This.
I'm not familiar with that one. Okay.
It's really bad.
Oh.
Like, I have never been more bored watching an... it's been a long time since I've been as bored as I was watching an obstacle course show.
Is it the production that's making it boring? Like the presentation?
It is everything. It is...
That's so disappointing.
It's the courses, it's the hosts, it's the editing, it's the production, and at no point do they actually play the song Can't Touch This. Like, what the heck?
It's like, if you're gonna borrow that phrase.
Like, seriously. It's like someone someone just took the line from that song and just tried to like force that into a game show, and it's really uninteresting. It's basically a boring version. It's a worse version of Total Wipeout. And Total Wipeout is a worse version of Wipeout. And I know you don't like Wipeout, so just imagine that for a second.
Okay, that is...
It's 2 stages under that. Like,
wow.
that is how bad this... Yeah, it's... Oof.
Wow.
Bad. I would not recommend watching.
Is it that everybody is now trying to find different versions of it to try to capitalize on it?
I think in the case of England, I think yes. And actually, I think in general, Ninja Warrior or A&W or whatever we're starting to see a slight revitalization of the whole physical sports show sort of thing that that we haven't seen since the original American Gladiators was popular.
Mm-hmm. Trying to saturate the market now.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that, like, at least in the U.S., everything's failing with the exception of American Ninja Warrior, so it's not really saturating it. Like, I remember CW used to have a show called Oh Sit, spelled S-I-T, and yes, that is part of the joke of that show.
Okay. I was like...
that they know, and that was intentional. It's basically an extreme version of musical chairs.
Oh my god.
Like, here's the thing. I liked the show, but I knew it was not a good show. So take that however you will.
Okay. No,
it's like, I know the show's bad, but I'm
high expectations on it anyway.
Yeah, like, I know the show's bad, but I'm getting a kick out of it. So take what you will out of that. And they ran that one joke out of the ground, just saying the word sit in any situation where that other word would normally be used. Because apparently you can get around the censors doing that.
Yeah, you can get around the censors in YouTube doing that.
Yeah,
Oh man. So anyway,
so don't watch that show.
How many other spin-offs are there in general now? Because I know Wipeout's gone.
Yeah, Wipeout's gone.
I remember Fear Factor used to be one.
Yeah, then they brought it back and they decided to not bring back the good version of Fear Factor.
Okay, because I
hate the team format so much of Fear Factor. It's so much better as singles competitors.
Yeah, I guess that would be the...
I'm sorry. It's a touchy subject for me. I was so excited when they brought that show back, and then they're like, oh, we're bringing back the team format. You mean the format that killed the show in the first place? What's wrong with you?
Hey, you have BattleBots, so we're all good.
I know. I am so excited. That show is. They're doing a preview episode. They're essentially doing a Navi on May 10th of the show, and then the show comes back full on June 23rd. You should all watch BattleBots. It's a great show. Allison Hayslip is confirmed to be in the show again.
Yay!
She's back, and it's going to have more robots, more episodes, and I'm super excited for that. So I'm going to be watching A&W 8 around the same time, and if that show does not make me happy, at least I have BattleBots.
No, it's good. And for future reference, by the way, for anybody that's going to be interested in A&W stuff, going to be doing a plug for basically our sister broadcast, the Armchair Ninja podcast. So Rich and Bijan are going to be taking care of all of that on their end, and you'll probably end up doing something on yours as well. Haven't quite decided yet. I remember last time.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. I kind of quietly canceled the Final William podcast.
Aww.
It wasn't really working out the way I wanted to, and I might bring it back. Mm-hmm. If I do something with A&W, it might just be in the form of vlogs, the standalone things, but for now, there is no solo podcast at the moment.
Aww.
It just didn't work out as I hoped. And I kind of want to focus on other creative projects.
Okay. That sounds good.
So, but as for covering A&W, I might still do that. I'll have to figure out how.
Hey, do it the way I do. Basically, take a subject that you feel passionate about and then concentrate on that, regardless of what the format is.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if you watch something going, yes, I'm going to talk about this. I guess you could talk about that for hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, okay.
By the way, do you want to put the plug in for the Armchair Ninja podcast?
Sure.
All right. So, here is a special little promo for the Armchair Ninja podcast. So, and check them out. And here it is right now.
Hey everyone, this is Rich from the Armchair Ninja podcast. Every week, my co-host Bijan and I get together to talk about American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, we cover everything in the sport, including Team Ninja Warrior, the specials, even local ninja competitions like the National Ninja League. We have recaps of every show, and we interview some of your favorite ninjas.
So if you love ninja competitions as much as we do, please stop by. You can catch us on Stitcher, iTunes, or at ninjapodcast.com.
Peace.
And we're back. So, Arsenette.
Yes.
To kind of end out this episode, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to when you go back to Japan this year?
Oh, I have a list.
well, give us one thing. So one thing that we wouldn't expect you to say, because I imagine watching the show is high up there. Meeting certain competitors is probably on the list, but it doesn't even have to be Sasuke related. It could just be Japan related. What's something you're looking forward to?
I'm actually at a loss. I don't.
Is there anything that you wanted to do last time that you didn't get that you might get to do this time?
See, that's the trouble, because when I end up going there, all of everything that I'm doing is to get to the tournament, and even just traveling to it and then coming back. I mean, I just lose like 3 full days of doing that.
Right.
I did schedule where this time around, instead of having like, hey, I'm going to try to do interviews and stuff, I'm just going to embrace it and go, okay, fine. We're going to have a party and let's try to find a place to do it. I'm actually, one of the competitors owns a ramen shop. Yes, I know.
Hey.
So I mixed the two things together. So we'll see what comes up with that. It's still, again, in the organizational stage. I'm still not sure how long I'm going to be staying. Again, I'm still trying to organize dates and stuff like that. Things need to be ironed out. But yeah, I want to try to like take a little bit more time to absorb my surroundings, because the first time around it was like trying to get from point A to point B and just being overrun. So I want to take like one of the days and actually just like chill and enjoy the fact that I'm in Japan, because I don't think I really had the opportunity to do it the last time, because I don't even know how to explain it. And so, I think I mentioned before that I probably won't be able to go back again. So
Right.
I don't have the mental capacity to do another personal fundraiser like that. And the fact of it happening a third time is just, it's not gonna happen. So I want to just basically enjoy, my final time at Sasuke. And so I don't know, that's why it's a little weird. So it's, if try to talk to as many people as possible and just try to enjoy it, and hopefully I won't be crying the entire time because I'm an emotional wreck. But yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. I guess enjoy everybody's company. So I'm looking forward to seeing them again, and it's sort of like seeing them again for the last time. It just, especially if the rumor from last year. Well, actually, it's not even a rumor, where he freaking announced it that he didn't want to come back. So if it does turn out where this is the last one of Nagano, it's a nice way of going out. So we'll see. Whether he comes back or not is irrelevant. I don't think I'm gonna be coming next, so this will be my last tournament with Nagano. So I just hope everybody has. I pray for good weather, and I hope everybody has a good tournament, because it is sort of kind of a renewal. However, whatever budget, but it's still gonna be, it's gonna be a new era. So we'll see how long this era lasts, but it's sort of like the goodbye to the last one. Oh, and for the record, Shingo ain't going anywhere. He's already said it.
Yeah, well,
he's already said it. So he's not going anywhere.
He's here forever.
Yeah, he says for as long as his body holds out, and as long as the show happens, and hopefully the show happens, for canceling of the show would happen before his body falls out. You know what I mean? So he's gonna hang in there for as long as possible. I have no idea about Takeda. No idea whatsoever. So
well, I guess
no
we'll find
idea
out.
if Bunpei's coming. No idea either. So it's just,
That'd be nice.
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, my dream would be for Akiyama to show up, but that ain't gonna happen. So, so if you hear the scream, that's because one of those two ends up showing up. So just follow my Twitter. Just seriously follow my Twitter. Even if you've never done it before, even if you don't subscribe to it, just save it on your bar and just check it every once in a while. If you start seeing just me just random typing letters, then one of those actually happened. So I'll try to do what I did with National Ninja League, where I ended up hey, such and such is next. Now, I can't do that during the tournament because, oh my god, they'll throw me out faster than anything. But, hey, we're heading out to the tournament today. It's okay, we got back. Because Inui freaking did that. So if he was able to do that, then I can do at least, acknowledge, okay, I'm back home, that sort of thing. Or, here we are, eating breakfast before we go back out again, that sort of thing.
Hey, someone just beat the final stage again. I got to see 2 in a row. Lady Alex.
I'll be disowned forever. Are you kidding me?
Well, if you're not going back, then why not?
No, I have no interest in burning bridges. I still crack up with the people on TBS going, I seriously hate you. And I'm like, what? It's I waited freaking 15 years for this. 20-something episodes, 20-second tournaments, and I only got 2 or 3, and then you got it on your first shot. That's just not right. That was so funny.
We just gotta have it happen again, and then everyone will hate you.
I think everybody would hate it in general, because I don't think, the idea of that happening back to back, it's just, people will freak out.
Yeah, what is this, Kunoichi?
So I'm curious what kind of stuff they're gonna do, because I was so happy with the tackle being in the first stage, that
Yeah, that was a good one.
it's just like, you know what I mean. And the possibility of it being there again is pretty high, especially since, you know, thanks that they slashed the budget, that they can't do a full renewal the way they wanted to. So there will be stuff that will come back. I would assume the wall is there. You know,
Of course the wall's going to be there. It's like the most iconic obstacle of that show's history.
I'm curious if they're gonna bring back the a version of a cliffhanger. I mean, what are they gonna do? It's just like,
They are going to. Okay, I know exactly what they're going to do.
okay.
So at one of the National Ninja League qualifiers, might have been the Brooklyn Zoo. I could be wrong though.
Okay.
They had a version of the cliffhanger that rotated.
Freaking Keita built that in his backyard. Actually,
Yeah,
there were
but-
two of them, because you had one where you had the one that you had to go around, and then the one that Shinya had actually had moving parts that swung, and so you're talking about, like, they actually had things where they like was it like motorized or
No. Imagine. Do you remember the ANW7 last year in Florida? You know the obstacle where the poles that rotated around a cylinder as you went across? You saw James do it?
I'm thinking, because I only saw that once.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking if you remember it. Basically, the way it works is that there's a single like pole of rotation, and there's like paddles with cliffs on them,
Okay.
coming out at different degrees, so that you would have to reach and like rotate it as you go across.
Okay.
If you can kind of like imagine that.
Like a
So
bicycle
that-
wheel?
No, because, well, I mean, it's what's it? Imagine imagine like a paddle machine, like,
Okay.
and they're all,
Okay.
yeah, kind of like that,
Okay.
kind of, yeah. So I don't know, something ridiculous like that. Go put that in Sasuke. I don't know.
So, backstream or no backstream?
Well, personally, I would prefer if they did not include the backstream in the Sasuke. But do I think they're going to keep it? I think they're going to keep it.
You think you're gonna add more to it?
No,
Okay. I don't think so either, because, again,
I
I'm going
think
with
they're-
budgetary
I think
reasons.
I think they're more likely to change the wall lift than they are the backstream.
You think the wall lift is going to be there at all?
I think I don't know. They might make it heavier. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, like when we talked about this before, I proposed replacing the wall lift with the tackle, which would be interesting.
Right at the end while they're sopping wet from the back.
Exactly. They're tired. They're sopping wet. The klaxons are blowing.
Oh, man. That's crazy. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But,
Or I don't know. They could figure something out.
I still want my Sasuke sign.
Well,
That's
not
never
happening.
gonna happen. I know that.
That
I
is never
know
happening.
that. Ah.
Especially these days. God,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, especially these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be.
By the way, is Ayako Miyake, speaking of Kunoichi, is she back on speaking terms with TBS? Or
Yes, in fact, she
as
went
soon as Monster 9?
as soon as Monster 9, as soon as Higuchi was gone. Yeah.
Okay. Because I wouldn't mind seeing her again,
Now they had
just in general.
they had a couple of them show up as sort of like a cheering squad as far
Right.
back as 28.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I think there were a couple times where I think one or two of their troop were either supposed to, yeah, I think they were supposed to compete, And it turned out that that was one of the one of those days ended up being one of their performances. Sort of like when like the schedule came out, it's like, crap, we're busy that day and couldn't go. So I've no idea. I know they were interviewed for the documentary. She was interviewed in a documentary, but I have no idea if she would ever come back. That'd be awesome, but I no idea.
I wouldn't mind it.
Oh, I won't mind it either. I still want Kunoichi back.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But again, if Sasuke's having this many financial problems, and then we still don't know when the heck World Cup is coming out, the likelihood of Kunoichi coming back is sort of a pipe dream at this point.
Hey, just bring back the AV stars that they used to put on that show, and that would help the ratings. So there you go.
Yeah, there's so many different ways. There's so many different ways, and I'm curious.
I know there was at least one.
Well, there's
that did well.
We'll see. We'll see. Because they're still all there, and I've seen them.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like I've seen them show up like a little bit here, a little bit there, but I don't know if some of those are still even in like showbiz. So I don't know. But either way. I've seen stranger things happen where all of a sudden people that, were like in the first few Sasuke all of a sudden show up like, 15 years later, like, oh, well, wow.
Akira Mori is like the quintessential example of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it was huge gap in between. But you know who would be the biggest shocker of all?
Mm-hmm.
Kane Kasuri.
Oh, if Kane shows up...
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. The likelihood of that happening is like 0 to 9.
That's why it'd be the biggest shocker.
So if you hear me scream, you're gonna have to identify now which scream that would be.
It'd be a bigger shocker than Leicester City winning the Premier League.
That's soccer, isn't it?
Yes. Wow.
Yes!
Okay. Yes. They were 5,000 to 1 odds at the beginning of the season, and they won.
Oh
yeah,
my
first time in the over 100-year history of that team.
That's why the board freaked out. Okay.
Yes. It's literally, it's like the most underdog of underdog teams won.
Wow.
Like, yeah. Like, they're probably going to make a Hollywood movie based on this story. That's how big it is.
Well, I know it'd probably be in, BBC or ITV.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So
there you go.
That's awesome.
So there you have it. So I think that's a good cutting off point.
Mm-hmm.
In honor of our 1-year anniversary, we decided to have a shorter episode.
Trust me, the next couple episodes are probably going to be like 5 hours long.
Well, it'll be cylindrical. We'll just cyclical, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Every month the lengths will be about the same as the first year we had it. So
yeah.
We should totally do that.
So we never have an actual timing that we can decide on. It's sort of like, okay, let's see what our topics are. Oh yeah, we did run about 3 hours, didn't we?
Yeah. We haven't quite hit 3 hours yet, but we've gotten close.
We got so freaking close.
We've gotten really close at times, but not yet. So anyway, thank you everyone for listening to the Final Stage podcast, or as I like to call it, the Mountain Climbing podcast, or Mountain Climbing Enthusiast podcast.
Yes.
I like that one better.
That's okay. I'm encouraging you to do so.
I'm going to encourage everyone to climb the mountains of your dreams.
I still think that's a really cute anime. And I still have to see the second season.
It's the best. It's the only show I bought a Nedroid for, so that should give you an idea of how much I like it.
She's so cute.
It's a really good Nedroid.
I'm gonna go find that photo on your and put that in the show notes, because that is a really freaking cute thing.
I got a photo on my review of the second season.
Yes.
Of that, if you want to use that.
There we go. We'll do that.
All right. So, like I said, thank you everyone for listening to the Final Stage podcast. We are available on iTunes. We are available on YouTube at 222 Productions. We are available on finalstagepodcast.com. And if you want, you can leave a review for us on iTunes. She'll review it, and she'll read it, like she always says. And if you want to help us monetarily, you can leave us a tip through YouTube's tip jar feature. By no means is it required, but if you do, it is much appreciated. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I am 2D2Will. You can find my stuff at 222productions.com and 2-2.com. I got stuff there. You should check it out. Good stuff. Tell us all about you, Arsenette.
Okay, my Twitter and YouTube are both Arsenette, ARSENETTE. I am on ramblyregan.com, and I now have an Instagram. It's actually under ramblyregan.
Hey.
Yes, because somebody took Arsenette, but I've already complained about that last month.
Oh well. So yeah. I guess we'll see everyone next month.
Bye.
Hopefully we'll have something to talk about.
Oh, I don't know. We're probably gonna have to really stretch to find content.
Yeah, I know. I'm already dreading it. See you next month, everyone.
Take care.